Magic TV. My name's Craig. It is 9 o'clock and it's time for another video. And today I'm back with another rant. Now, if you haven't already known, these rants are now PG-13. So I'm not effing and blinding, so anybody can watch them. But I think it's really important to talk about stuff in the Magic community that maybe people don't talk about a lot, and stuff that's really kind of getting to me. And it's not every week because I don't have a subject that I can rant about every week. I think it's been about 3 or 4 weeks since I've done the last one, but I'm back with another rant right now. And today I'm going to be talking about young people and kids in Magic. So like I said, today I'm going to be talking about young people. I'm going to be talking about kids in Magic. And I'm going to be talking about the way that the Magic community treat kids in Magic. And I think this is really important and a really important subject to talk about. Now, first of all, obviously, I'm a little bit biased when it comes to this subject. Why am I biased? Ryland is my son, and because he's my son, I spend a long time hanging around with kids at various different conventions because Ryland's got a lot of friends in Magic. So, and in all honesty, I spend a lot of time hanging out with people like Aidan McCann, Jasper Cherry. I spend a lot of time hanging out with Killian. I spend a long time hanging out with some of the guys from the Young Magic Circle, the YMC, people like Arabella, people like Ollie. I spend more time, Magic Maisie, I spend more time hanging out with those people than I actually do normal magicians, adult magicians. And I think one of the reasons is Ryland's in that group, and so I've got to know these kids really well. But the other reason is I tend to find that kids are more passionate about Magic than grown-ups. You tend to find a lot of the adults in the Magic community, especially at a convention, they couldn't care less about the Magic side of things. Now, that's not everybody. I don't want to paint everyone with the same brush, but by the by, generally, a lot of the time, when I go to a convention and I'm there and I'm hanging out with grown-ups, they don't want to talk about Magic, or if they do, they just want to bitch about the latest development in the Magic community, and have you heard about this, and have you heard about that, and the politics in the circle, can you believe what this person did, can you believe what that person did? I just want to see magic tricks. I just want to see lots and lots of magic tricks. I go to the conventions to see new tricks. If I want to talk politics, if I want to talk about crap that's going on in this industry, I can do so by going online. I can do so by spending 5 minutes on the Fat Magic Cafe. Well, not anymore, but there you go. But I can spend time on social media, online, and I can get the whole gossip, he says, she said thing. I don't need that. What I want to do is I want to see cool stuff that I haven't seen before. And kids in Magic, they are so passionate. They are like a sponge. They're always wanting to learn something new. And I always learn something from them because they've probably been shown something or learned something that I didn't even have a clue about. And they blow me away over and over again. That's what I love about Magic. I love sessioning. But you know what? I see it again and again where grown-ups, and I'm going to refer to them as grown-ups, the grown-up magicians, the old fuddy-duddies. I see it when they basically, I've seen so many people say that kids shouldn't be allowed at a Magic convention. I'm not kidding. I have seen it. I've seen threads numerous times over and over again. Kids shouldn't be allowed at a Magic convention. Here's a couple of examples. So when Ryland first got into Magic, and I started posting videos of him doing Magic, and this is way before we did the review show. This is way before BGT. This is like when he was probably 4 or 5 years old, maybe even less. And I was posting videos of him practicing. I would have magicians telling me that I was robbing him of his childhood, because what I was doing was the equivalent of telling Ryland that Santa didn't exist, because kids should have this sense of wonder, and by teaching him that Magic is just tricks, I'm robbing him from that. Well, I'm sorry, but who are you to decide what hobby a kid should or shouldn't have? And who are you to decide, or who are you to tell me, as his parents, what I should or shouldn't do? I will do what I want with my child. And if I want to teach him Magic, because by the way, he asked me to teach him Magic, then that is what I'm going to do. And ultimately, there's a lot of massive advantages of a kid getting into Magic. There really are. Not the least of which more confidence, better presentational skills, more dexterity, to say the very, very least. But you see it. You see people saying, kids shouldn't be into Magic. Kids shouldn't be doing Magic. And we've all know the story about what happened at the last Blackpool We all know the story. And briefly to tell you, Ryland did 2 shows at the gala. And the second show went brilliantly. It went flawlessly. The first show didn't go as well as the second show. And there was at the end of the routine, there was a prop malfunction. At the end of the set, his prop malfunctioned, and there was an issue through no fault of his own. And trust me, we went through this over and over again. And yet, he was able to finish that routine, fix the prop, because he knew the prop well enough to know what to do to fix it. It was in front of an audience full of magicians. He did what he needed to fix it, and he finished the show. And yet still, at the Blackpool Magic Convention, after the Beat the One competition, or during the Beat the One competition, some of these grown-up magicians felt it appropriate to slag Ryland off on a screen in front of the entire bar, because what was happening is people were texting stuff in, it was being shown on a screen. And, there were magicians in there that felt it was appropriate to text their thoughts on this. And a lot of them were very, very nasty onto a screen so that everybody could read them. And then the entire bar laughed at a 9-year-old kid who had the guts to go up in front of everybody at a gala show at the world's largest magic convention, and had the guts to go out and do a show. And not only that, when everything went wrong, most magicians would have probably just crumbled. He carried on and he made it work. And then went on and did a second show an hour or 2 later and absolutely bossed it and absolutely smashed it. And yet there's people in that bar that think it's funny, that think it's acceptable to slag him off. And I absolutely 100% wish that I could find those people, or at least that they would have the guts to come up to me and tell me to my face what they decided to say. Because if they did that, they would realize that what they did that night is not acceptable. What they did that night is never acceptable, because what we should be doing is we should be nurturing the kids of the future. We should be nurturing the kids within the magic community, because it's the kids within the magic community that are going to be the future of magic. Some of them, a lot of them, the kids I hang out with at conventions, they are better than 90% of the adults in this in this industry. It's as simple as. But not only that, not only are they better than 90% of the adults, but they have the passion, they have the desire, they have the love of magic, and it's absolutely, completely infectious. And you don't see that with adults. So for everybody who goes online and says, oh, kids shouldn't be allowed at a magic convention. And by the way, I want to applaud Vanishing Ink, because they did the youth scholarship where they gave tickets away to kids to go to the session convention, which was brilliant. They had special youth events planned out for the kids at the convention, which was absolutely brilliant. My hat is off to Josh and Andy, and I applaud them. That is the way that it should be done. That is what should happen within this community. Because I'm telling you, somebody like Ryland, and I'm using Ryland as an example because I know him better than most, because he's my son. He has had more performing experience than probably 50% of Blackpool. More than 50, he's been out doing gigs for years. He was out this weekend doing a gig. He's got 2 gigs next weekend. Had it agreed that he's going to do a week of stage shows in August. Like, the kid goes out and performs all of the time, and his sleight of hand, his skill, his ability, and his stage presence is better than most adult magicians I've seen, including myself. And yet, some people out there would say that somebody like him and his friends would not be allowed at a magic convention. Somebody like Aidan, who has literally won every award that there is to be won. He's reached the finals of BGT, the semi-finals of Ireland's Got Talent. He's been on TV shows in America, including Ellen. These kids have had so much fame. These kids have had so much experience performing magic. Yet as a community, we think it's acceptable to say, hey, no, you're not allowed at this convention. Or we treat them like children. And yes, I get they are children, but the bottom line is they are better at magic than a lot of other people. And you know what? You could learn something from them. You could learn something from them. Or here's an even better thing. If you think that you can't learn something from them, that's great. Teach them something. I was watching at a convention recently, I won't say which one, Well, I was watching at a convention, and these kids, not Ryland, but there were some kids that went up to some adults and was like, "Oh, hi, can you show me a trick?" And there were these adults, there were three of them, and they were showing each other card tricks. And I saw them say, "Now go away, kid, we're busy." You weren't busy. You weren't busy. You were at a magic convention in a bar doing magic for each other, and you just didn't want those kids to come in and ruin whatever it is that you were doing. You know, the kids are the future of this industry. It's as simple as that. So for everybody who goes online and says, "Oh, kids aren't very good at magic. Kids can't be into magic." For everybody who says that at magic conventions, or for anybody who's ever said that to me, here's the thing. Screw you. It's as simple as that. I said I wouldn't rant on these videos anymore, but this finger, this bird is for you. Because if that's your attitude, if your attitude really is that you don't think that kids should be involved in this community, then I don't want to have anything to do with you. If that really is your thought process, if your thought process really is that you don't think kids should be in this industry, then don't come up to me, don't speak to me, don't talk to me at a convention. I don't want to have anything to do with you, because you know what I'd rather be doing? I'd rather be hanging out with Ryland, Aidan, Jasper, Magic Maisie. I'd rather be hanging out with Killian, those guys, because I get so excited and enthused about magic, just hanging out with them and seeing how passionate they are about magic. I get so passionate myself about learning new tricks and coming up with new concepts. Aidan fooled me with a trick just at the session. Didn't know how it was done. Luckily, he sat me down and he taught it me. And that's what it's all about. Age should not be a barrier. Age should never be a barrier. These kids are going to be the future of this industry. So it's about time that we treated them like that right now. So there you go, guys. That's another rant in the bag. Do me a favor, let me know what you think in the comments down below. This is something I am very passionate about, and I'd love to know your thoughts. I'm sure a lot of people there have never done anything like that, and they're very inclusive, and I love that, and that's amazing. But here's the thing. The bottom line is, if you think I'm talking about you, then I probably am. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let's get a dialogue going. If you want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll be back again tomorrow. I'll see you then. My name's Craig from Magic TV.